Well, my name is Alex. I have an Instagram and YouTube Love Sugar show. So I want to thank you for taking your time for coming to the interview.
Happy to. Yeah. Good to meet you.
Good to meet you as well. So the first question that I ask anyone that I ever interview is, how's everything going in your world today? Not just musically, but also in your personal life as well, because that's important too.
Sure. Yeah. It's been a whirlwind of a whole lot of things all at once, all the time. I'm a, I have a 1 year old,
Oh,
which contributes to that a little. But yeah, no, we just released the record and we just had the release show and got a tour planned for July. So there's been a lot of things going on lately. So I'm in a good mood. I'm doing all right.
well, that's good. Better
Yeah.
than everything's horrible, the world is burning.
I mean, yeah, you could very much go down that long, that long line of thinking. I certainly have, but at this exact moment, that's not what came to mind. But yeah,
Well, that's good. So I have to ask, I know yesterday was release day. How did
yeah,
that go?
it went great. Yeah, I was pretty excited, surprised how many people reached out and showed a lot of excitement for the record, and um, kind of humbled by the fact that so many people in our scene and even people who I've never heard of have found us. Like it was pretty great. It took a while to get the record out, so seeing that kind of reaction makes it feel worth it.
Yeah. So since you mentioned it took a while to get the record out, can
Yeah,
you tell us a little bit about that? Like what kind of like made it take so long, how long it took?
yeah. We started uh, early 2024. Yeah, it's
Oh
just
wow.
several sessions back and forth. Um, just all the lame excuses you can think in the world. But I like to think that the time in between sessions was useful. I mean, there's several songs that I wrote for the record that did not end up on the record because of the time in between, because that hot hand, that new song that just I just wrote is way more exciting and interesting, and it blended more with the concept of the record. And I think it all kind of happened for a reason. It all worked out great.
Yeah, that's a positive way to think about it.
Yeah.
So I know you mentioned like you had some songs that didn't make it onto the
Yeah.
record. Were there a lot of those or?
Oh, yeah. I mean, songs that even my bandmates haven't heard.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you write music? Do you play any instruments or?
Well, I don't think people would want me to write music because I don't even think one person would want to listen to it. I play
Oh,
guitar
get out of here.
a little bit.
Well, I think that of myself, so you never know. But yeah, the process of writing songs is just I don't know. For me, it's just like throwing a fishing line in the water and see if you get a bite. And maybe you throw one back, right? So
Yeah,
dozens of songs that get written and then never heard by anybody.
that's
That's
kind of sad.
oh no, it's fine because maybe they weren't worth it. Maybe that next one has to be worth it for someone to hear it.
Yeah. Do you think that maybe they'll show up in like another album or something, maybe? Or as like a book?
Maybe I've surprised myself. I'll tell myself, oh, that's gone and I'm over it, and then um, I don't know. I'll if I'm just kind of noodling on with an idea, something will just pop out, and I'll think, oh, maybe there's something there. Oh, I already wrote that. And then a new spark to it, a new idea kind of gets reimagined. So yeah.
So, so with the time frame, do you think it was like too short or too long? Like, was it meant to be an album instead of an LP, or like, did you
Oh
want it to be something
yeah.
else?
Yeah, no, I mean it was definitely too long for me. Like I'm ready to go out and record like next week. You know what I mean? Like I'm ready to go. It's just the logistical challenges of being in a band. But if I could change anything, I probably wouldn't because it worked out right.
Yeah. Well, I know like usually when people release something, they're like, yeah, I would have changed this or I would have changed that. Do you think because you had so long, you don't have any of those thoughts? Like there's nothing that you would change at all?
Yeah, no, I don't think I really would. Honestly, I think there was a during the time that I was writing this record and we were kind of working on it together as a group, I don't know. I think there was just a lot of conversations had with close friends, and um, whether they materialize as new lyrics or they materialize as a new direction for how to take a song, or a friend recommends a record I haven't listened to and it suddenly inspires me to do something different. And I think it's all kind of caught up in it. So I guess I wouldn't really change anything about it.
Yeah. Well, I know the album cover, which is actually behind me, it's
Yeah.
a little cut off, but what theme will listeners hear like when they listen to the full album? Like what were you going for theme wise?
Sure. Yeah. So behind you is a coffin.
Yeah.
Um, and the concept for the whole record came from like a seemingly benign, silly interaction, but I'm sure maybe you even experienced it yourself. But if you're on social media of any kind, shape, or form, you may occasionally run into a profile of a deceased friend, somebody who's passed on, but Facebook will still remind you when their birthday is.
Yep.
And it disturbed me. It was somebody that was I went to high school with, playing in some bands with, and they were still reminding me of their birthday. And shortly later on that day, I, completely oblivious to this, listened to an interview by Chris Novoselic of Nirvana, and he was talking about the the merits and values of bringing Kurt Cobain back to life by hologram and doing a tour as with a hologram. And so this whole idea of like this digital self not being allowed to die, like whether you're somebody who's passed on through whatever means, or maybe it's profitable to keep your image around. That's kind of where the whole record came from. And the coffin represents obviously like uh, somebody who's deceased and the hands are grabbing, reaching out, which is to say it's like this endless want and need.
Yeah. And I know they've also been talking about like bringing Ozzy back and all
Oh,
these other
I heard about
crazy
that. Yeah.
guys. So I'm
No,
curious your
that's,
take on that since we're on the subject.
oh, I think it's disgusting and disturbing, and they should be ashamed. Yeah, I won't hold it back. I think let people pass on. Like Ozzy was on stage for what, 60 years? I think he's given enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. Like, I don't want holograms, if
Yeah,
it's sad on, some people who have passed on, you'll never be able to see them again. But it's like,
sure. Well, you're not seeing them now if it's a hologram, right?
exactly. But they do have concerts they've recorded that you can watch.
Yeah, it's just a money making thing. It's pretty gross in my opinion. Let new artists come up and take that place.
Yeah. So, talking about new artists
Yeah.
and this album,
hmm
what do you hope listeners take away from it when they listen to it?
Well, I never know how much people dive into the lyrics for any given song. I generally hope to leave an impact based on like how a song strikes you. So front to back, this record is like kind of like a Kool-Aid man running through a wall. That was um, so I guess I hope to always, when writing music, to move people, either get them to stand up and run around and get excited about something, or get angry if there's something that really bothers them and they want to speak out against it.
Yeah.
That's the kind of impression that I think good music can give you. Like listening to Fugazi, for instance, makes me feel that way.
Yeah, well, I listened to the album earlier and I definitely see there's like some punk elements, some rock elements, some
Yeah.
noise elements, and I'm like,
hmm
it's different and I really enjoyed it. Like I actually listened to it twice today
Oh,
when I
cool.
was like
Thanks.
getting everything together and I'm like, it's not something I normally would have listened to, but I listened to it once and I'm like, that was good. So I listened to it again.
Cool. What do you usually listen to?
Usually like Cradle of Filth type, like really just
Oh, sure.
heavy metal. Sometimes like I consider baby rock, but like Slipknot, things like that.
Sure, yeah, nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I played in my fair share of thrash and death metal bands, so
Yeah,
there's a little bit of love for Slayer in here somewhere.
I like Slayer too. So, how would you describe this album to someone, like whether like feeling wise, or sound wise? How would you kind of describe it to someone?
I have no idea. I think if I was trying to, it would depend on the person. If it's a complete stranger and I'm handing them, here's this yellow disc. Here, hold on to this. This is my record. This just got made. What should you anticipate? I should say, anticipate um, a blend of rock and punk and intense noise and weirdness. And hopefully, we live up to the name, the Freqs.
Yeah. What about if it was someone that you knew, like a close friend?
Oh, that really depends on what they listen to and if they like me. Sure, yeah, I guess I don't know. I don't like interviews are a little strange because I never really know how to talk about it. But I'd hope to get their reaction more than to
Yeah.
tell them how to feel.
Well, at least you're nicer than I would be. I'd be like, take this, listen to it. You will like it. You will comment and you will subscribe.
Hey man, you gotta run with it, right? It's the shuffle.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like with interviews, I always like think of it as like just having a conversation with a friend and they're just curious about your music.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I can appreciate that take.
Yeah. So I'm curious, what was the most challenging part of putting this whole thing together?
Um, Definitely the vocal takes. Oh, I loved them. I enjoyed doing them. But I had to kind of get outside of my own box a little bit. Going with falsetto overdubs and uh, trying different things to get out of every song sounding the same. So
Yeah.
I enjoyed recording all the vocals for our previous EP, Poachers, but this record, I kind of took some ideas from our buddy Nicholas from Bedtime Magic and just kind of stepped outside of the box. So it was challenging, but it was rewarding.
Is that something like, did you try any like new techniques or anything, or like playing styles or anything like
Yeah.
general that was new?
Yeah, for several songs, I screamed into the pickup of my guitar for vocals. And we did a lot of the stuff with room mics and trying to get kind of um, build up intentional harmonies as opposed to just like hit that song, hit that take again, you know. So a little more
Is it
purposeful.
Was it weird like screaming into your guitar, or was it like normal, natural, were you just in a pissed off mood and it was like relieving?
It was absolutely cathartic. Yeah, it was great.
Do you see making music as kind of like a therapeutic type of deal for you, or is it
Hmm.
just more like a hobby, something you enjoy?
Yeah, I mean, I feel that I would be a complete nutcase if I didn't. um, all of my closest friends know that, like, if I don't play guitar or write something or I'm not working on something, tinkering with something, I'm going nuts. I drive Ian and Zach kind of nuts over it too, I think, because I'm constantly working on that next song or trying out a thing. I don't know. I would probably be a complete dysfunctional wreck if I didn't have music.
And have you been playing guitar for a long time?
Uh, yeah, guitar like when I was 13, so about 20 years now. Yeah,
That's awesome. Uh, so I have to ask on this album,
sure.
which track would you say represents the band right now, like
Hmm.
as a whole?
Shoot, that's kind of tough. Let me think about it. The songs that are really resonating with me right now, with like maybe some of the songs that I'm currently working on, would be um, Clearance Wreck, which is that like more of that like slow and deliberate and sludgy and noisy and has samples in it, but um, really enjoy it. Might be Rabies too. There's a that intense speed, and then there's that like slow refrain towards the end there. Um,
Yeah.
that one kind of set me off in a new direction too.
And talking about Clearance Wreck, it's the only song on the album that's in capital letters. Is that
Yeah,
intentional?
yeah. So the song was inspired by my experience working retail, and and so the clearance rack, it's a clearance wreck, and I felt like it kind of described how I felt like my time was only as valuable as a minimum wage salary pays, and it
Yeah.
kind of made me feel worthless. So I kind of pontificated on that, right?
So needless to say, you did not have a good experience in retail.
I mean, who does? My hat goes off to anybody who can work retail and enjoy it.
Yes.
Yeah,
The only good thing is like the discounts you get, maybe like some free stuff here and there. Other than that,
yeah, pretty much.
no. So I did want to talk about the song titles because they're kind of all over the place. You go from like John Travolta all
Hmm.
the way to It May Be Rabies, which is a little scary, and like Night Hag. Where did all these song titles come from? Because there's quite a few different ones.
Sure. Yeah, no, I had a lot of fun with the titles. It sometimes they described how I felt when we were writing the song in the room, or John Travolta has nothing to do with the actor John Travolta at all. And it's actually two parts. There's a let's see, John would be John Dwyer from the VOCs, and Travolta is from the Mars Volta, and both of those artists kind of influenced the sound of that song, and it was kind of meant to be a joke, um, and because the subject matter is really about what I was describing earlier about like the digital self, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, as an example, I think we were just having a lot of fun, but the songs kind of like either they were funny to us or they struck a chord, and they we just had fun with it, I guess.
What about the Chainsaw Man?
Yeah, the chainsaw man. That one's really personal, actually. That I grew up in a log cabin, and and uh,
Okay.
and I actually had my fair share of sawing down trees and cutting lumber for firewood and that kind of thing. My dad did the same, and my grandpa did too. And it was a kind of the song was really more about like the coldness of male like archetypes in your life. Like this idea of like the silent but strong type, right? Maybe.
Mhm.
So Chainsaw Man was like kind of like this figure I created for the song to represent those feelings.
Awesome. And the next one, of course, is Low IQ. Was
Yeah.
that like a title over maybe someone you were thinking about, or what was the
Well, the Robert Downey Jr. quote has low IQ in it, but that was actually only figured out after the song was written.
Okay.
Yeah, so it worked out all right. I mean, it was honestly, it's a very political song. It's anti-fascist in its nature, and it's describing this feeling that I know a lot of my friends have felt. That their parents or their loved ones or like their relatives of some kind have a have that like a extreme member who like got um red pilled into being a psychopathic billionaire worshiping like Trump apologist, and that song is very much titled for them.
So it's a special song for them.
That's right. It's all for them. Yeah, they can listen to it.
And then after that, then they have to go work retail, and then it might be rabies. So do they
Yeah,
end up maybe getting
they
rabies
really
from
should get
that?
a they should get a shot. Yeah, yeah, that's right.
And it might be rabies. Was that written from like maybe a fear or something that's happened to you, or how was like the thought behind that?
Well, funny going back to one of our previous questions. That's one of those songs that I like originally started back like 5 years ago,
Hmm.
and it just kind of crept back up, and I tried a bunch of new things on top of it. So Rabies was the original title for it. It might be Rabies was just kind of like it's almost like this rabid nature or disease, which was actually more about religion, actually,
Yeah.
or hyper religion, right? Um,
Hmm.
so that would be that.
And then the next song is the secondhand Jesus. Is that kind of like tied into that one or?
Yeah, I mean that has more to do with the like a false idolhood.
Hmm.
So the subject matter is kind of more about that.
And then you go into Short King and then Night Hag. Are
Yeah.
those all connected or are these like different
Yeah,
entities?
I mean they all follow certain themes. Short King, the title was completely undecided by me. It was just we came up with it in the studio and it stuck. So it has nothing to do with the song at all. And Night Hag was kind of more like a love letter to the Melvins because they have that song Night Goat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. So going through all these songs, which song
Mhm.
would you recommend to someone listening to the band for the first time?
Um,
No pressure or anything.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about the singles we released leading up into the record. So John Travolta or Chainsaw Man, I think are both decently accessible, kind of give you the range of where we're frenetic and crazy and fast, or we're slow and heavy and sludgy.
Hmm.
Um, and if not either of those two, it might be Rabies.
Awesome. And out of all the songs on here, I know you said like some of them were kind of like pulled out of the vault, but
Yeah.
which song was like the hardest to write?
Hardest to write. Hmm. I don't know. I mean, they all kind of came together pretty fast. That's how I kind of feel like I find a good song if I know it's gonna work. It's usually kind of comes all out all at once. I bring it to Zach and Ian, and we workshop it, and like within our practice, it's ready to go practically.
Hmm.
Um, Maybe the hardest song that we worked on for that was Clearance Wreck, only because it's so simple that it feels like it should be more. I don't know. Maybe not Clearance Wreck. I would say Chainsaw Man actually. That's a weird time signature. I think it's in 6/4 and then 5/4, and it has an odd swing. And yeah,
Hmm.
I'd say that maybe that was the most challenging, certainly in the studio.
Awesome. So, with all of this being said, like the whole LP being done, what does it mean to you personally, like having done this?
It's a massive relief. I mean, why we do this is we want to write fun, interesting, compelling music. We want to challenge ourselves as musicians. We want people who listen to us to be invigorated, listening to us and try their own new things. So it's really it feels like a weight off certainly my shoulders to have the record out, to feel um like our new sense of self is being realized with the record, right? And then we can move on to the next thing and carve out our next journey.
For sure. And I know this is like not a super long album. I think it was like 20 some minutes, but
Yeah.
you have 8 tracks on here. Is this just going to be like a standalone project or will it evolve into like part of an album or where is that kind of going?
No, this is a standalone. Yeah, it's meant to be consumed from start to finish, track one to track eight, and that's what we had to say in the time that we had it. Um,
Yeah.
so the next project will be something separate.
And will have you like started thinking about the next project, like whether it'll be an album, an EP, an
Oh
LP?
yeah, yeah. No, I've already got probably about 8 or 10 songs ready to go.
Okay, so
Yeah.
ready for that next album.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm Zach and Ian will kill me if they hear this, but like yeah, I'm ready to go.
Well, awesome. And I think with this album, I know also it's going to be like some cassettes. Is there
Yep.
any like vinyls or anything that's coming out with it as well?
No, I think Taylor Swift bought out all the vinyl, right?
Well, that was True, she could have left you a few.
Yeah, I know. She should have left at least a couple. No, it's pretty expensive business to release your own vinyl. You need a lot of capital up front, and we didn't get signed for this effort, so it was all on us. CDs and tapes, it was. Um, Not saying that I wouldn't do it in the future.
So we need to support you to get you the vinyl, right?
That's right. You need to realize my dreams for me.
And why cassettes? Because I feel like a lot of bands are going back to cassettes. Do you think like people are just like coming back to them, or what's kind of like your thoughts on that?
I'm going to completely blame Nicholas from Bedtime Magic on that. uh, they have put out quite a few records, CDs and cassettes were not really on my radar until Nicholas brought it to my attention. Like, hey, you should do this. We can have some fun, put our hands on it. Like, he did a lot of the graphic design work to help kind of create the whole presentation, and it was actually like really invigorating to do it. To by hand fold all the pieces together and assemble them. We had a bunch of friends together from other bands where we all did it together in a room. There was something kind of special about that, like hands-on approach, as opposed to just buying some like a here's 100 CDs. They will all look like this based on your proofs. You get it in the mail and it's done.
Mhm.
There was something a lot more personal. So if anybody listening to this gets a CD or a tape, sorry, a tape, they're gonna know that like I had a hand in it in some way. We had a hand in it in some way. There's something kind of personal about that. And I'll also say that if you do listen on a tape, there's a variability to the sound that is kind of fun, feels real. Like there's an analog quality to it, if you know what I mean. You ever listen to anything on tape?
I haven't in a long time. I don't know if it was my tape player or if it was just cheap, but it would always eat my tapes. And so
No,
like,
I don't think that's supposed to happen.
I don't think it's supposed to either, but that was my experience with tapes. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
think it might have been the actual tape player was just cheap. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I discovered Nirvana actually on a tape. My dad had bootleg copied it from the radio, but there was like this kind of like scratchy warmness to it, like it'd been in the sun maybe too long because it was in his van, and it would just created like a slight warbling sound.
Yes.
And even this cassette, when I listen to it, it's like it almost feels like it's slightly sped up, and it might have been the tape player like you were just describing. But
Yeah.
when listening to it in that sped up state, I was like, oh man, should we have recorded this even faster? um, I don't know. I highly recommend bands to just give it a shot. They're not like overly expensive, and it's very rewarding.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I will let you let my listeners know the name of the album, where to get it, where they can keep up with you, and where they can get updated.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks so much, Alex. I appreciate it.
Yeah, if you can just let them know where they can go to get a copy of this.
Oh, sure. Yeah, yeah. So we have the Freqs Bandcamp, where you can get a CD or a tape. We're on Facebook and Instagram and Spotify or Apple Music, anything really. You can find us anywhere. You know, we're around. You can find us. But Bandcamp first, if you could.
Yes, because Spotify, I heard, does not really help the artist very much. So be a band camper.
Yeah, yeah. Down with Spotify.
And this is called No God on the Gold Coast, and I'll put all the links below. So it's really easy for you guys just to click on it. Takes you right there. Make sure to take a listen to it. It is very unique, and I think that you will really like it.